Welcome to this edition of ZoeTV. So today we have a lot of good things for you that you're going to enjoy. Lish has some recipes for us again. We have got a surprise visitor from our rehab department that you'll enjoy visiting with, and we have some fitness tips.
Yeah, we do.
We have a resident profile with Diane Morrison, and she's telling us all about how important the Beta 1 program was to her, what it's done for her in her life. It's very, very interesting.
We're talking about balance. I mean, this entire show, we want to be balance heavy.
Yes.
Because as the new year has started, we've had more and more residents piling into the Performance Center saying, I don't care about losing weight, I don't care about gaining strength, I gotta work on my balance, I almost just had a fall. And they come down with that fear look in their eyes of, man, I need to get better with my balance.
It's true.
And so Diane has great testimony to what Zoe did for her in balance, and then the rehab guys are just all
building up that strength and stamina. That's what it's all about. So this is a great show. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, I'm Lish Vasquez, Dining Services Director at Glencroft Center for Modern Aging. And today on your ZoeTV show, we are going to make the tilapia dinner. So what we're gonna start off with is I got a 6-ounce fillet of tilapia. I've got some zucchini chopped here. And I have some already steamed quinoa pre-made ahead. I have some lemons. And I've got some red bull's blood for garnish. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with our fish. I already had my pan getting hot. So the fish goes in a hot pan. You'll want it to go in a hot pan so you can hear that sizzling. That means it was hot enough, so it makes a complete sear when the skin or the flesh of the fish hits the pan. If you don't have a non-stick pan, just make sure you use enough olive oil to keep this fish from sticking. Make sure you keep it kind of moving around with the oil underneath. Keep it going. You're going to want to cook each side about 2 to 3 minutes per side until it's fully cooked through. It'll be at 145 is the temperature we're going for to be fully cooked. There we go. Another sign you know fish is done when its flesh starts to begin to flake away. Looks like we are about there. So we are going to turn down the heat and transfer to our plate. So we're going to start off with our zucchini. Now you can either leave it plain. If you want to add Mrs. Dash, you can add a little bit of salt and pepper, a little bit of garlic, however you want to do this. You can also sub any vegetable side. You don't have to stick to zucchini. You could do broccoli if you really want to. There we go. Just how I want it. Ready to serve this alongside the fish. Okay. We're gonna take our red bull's blood here. Just put a little bit right there. And that is our tilapia dinner. I'm Lish Vasquez, Dining Services Director at Glencroft Center for Modern Aging. Just because it's healthy doesn't mean it doesn't taste good. Thank you, bye-bye.
We are so lucky.
I know.
On
Look
our
who
pillar
we have.
profile.
That's right.
To have Jason Saari, who is obviously on our rehab team over at Providence Place.
Yes.
But Jason helps run that entire ship over there with Randy. They're kind of like very similar in look.
Yes.
Right? Along with Stan, they all have that.
He's the assistant therapy director.
And very big title. He is an amazing guy.
Yeah.
And I've had the luxury of working with him not only in beta, and doing some things we're going to talk about, but getting some more personal time with this guy and the workout that we'll talk about later. So Thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you.
We're
Good
excited to have you. Anytime that we can get our hands on our rehab team over there.
Oh my goodness, they're so busy.
It was one of the best things we did on this campus, in my opinion. Being a new guy, only here a year and a half, and you've been here a long time.
Yes.
Is getting rehab in-house.
That's right.
And having a vested team committed to going back.
Oh, it makes all the difference in the world. It really does.
I mean, I think having the ability to go to Jason, go to Randy, go to their team and say, okay, how's so-and-so doing? How is this person doing? And they know the ins and outs of this resident as opposed to, I got a chart, and then they're out of it. Just checking boxes, right? This is so much more than that. So how have you enjoyed your time here, man?
Oh, man, it's great. Excellent. I love it. It's good to have the relationship with the patients, the residents, and the staff and facility here, too. So just kind of putting everybody together on the same page has been a good progress, and it's been fun. It's been fun.
Yeah.
So we got you involved in ZoeLife within our beta program over there, right? You kind of spent some time on the floor at the Performance Center when you first came on, just to kind of watch how we are approaching falls. But then you as the rehab team and our team met and we decided to do beta at Providence Place over the last couple months. And you've obviously been integral in that. So tell us, how's beta going? How'd it go? What's some of your feedback?
We had Beta 1. We had a really good turnout with all the residents there. They thoroughly enjoyed it.
Cool.
We were able to get some in the pool, which people loved. That was great.
I know, we took pictures. It was great. It was amazing.
Of all of the optics.
Yes.
I mean, the virtual reality stuff is super cool to see them doing their thing. But the pool stuff, man, to watch somebody that's been wanting to get in the water.
Well, and that hasn't been in the water in a pool for decades, some of them, you know.
But it's stuff they've wanted.
That's
for
right.
so long, and it is hard to execute. I mean, get in the water, do stuff.
It is.
But that's why that kind of a skilled nursing building doesn't go after culture in this capacity because it's hard. And so having the boots on the ground and this team implement like our strategies. So what kind of stuff would you do with these guys? Like, what would a therapy day look like for them?
You know, so they went through quite a bit. What they would come down and do exercises with us, a lot of fun activities. You mentioned the VR with Gary, and they had really enjoyed doing that stuff. So just to see the smile on their faces after doing the VR and coming over, or we'd switch off back and forth, and they
because you guys would do your therapy work and get them some movement,
right?
And then they were like, okay, therapy time is done. Now you're gonna go deal with Gary, and they all love Gary and the activities world. But then those goggles, and they're still working out. I mean, they're doing boxing, they're doing stuff.
Big hit.
They're doing these Beat Saber, and they're moving their lightsabers, but they're still doing your workout, right?
Still exercising, still
heart
working
rates are up.
And the virtual reality takes you to places and doing things that you never would have the opportunity to do. So it opens up a whole new world for someone that is disabled and in a wheelchair and not able to do those things, which I just love.
When you have somebody come over and say, you wouldn't believe it, I was just swimming with the dolphins. It's just lighting up.
Especially in that building with the, I don't want to say doom and gloom atmosphere, but you know, it's kind of our building.
Right.
That's where we are. They're in that building.
Right.
And they're doing life in that building. Some go over to Henry's and they might, but for some, that's their reality of it.
Exactly.
So to be able to put these on and be like, I'm spending 30 minutes
It's
away
amazing.
from
They love it.
It's
be able to be on a beach or at the Grand Canyon or in Sedona or back at Wrigley Field where I'm from Chicago,
It's
you know,
so
and I just want to go to Wrigley one more time. Done.
It actually takes you to old addresses.
That's right.
Too, places that you used to live, you know, it actually can take you back there.
Yeah,
so
they love that.
It's wonderful.
But I know the compliments that they had for your guys' team over there about, I can't believe this team's caring for me and doing this for me. And, you know, it's just, this isn't insurance, but they just care for me. And this is like the amount of care that is happening in that building from that team. We just want you to thrive. You may never walk again, but you know what? Doesn't mean we can't try to get better.
And it doesn't mean that you can't have experiences, you know, during this next chapter of your life.
But that's where it's key. Like a couple weeks ago, we had Stan on, and he was talking about the spiritual side of that beta program and being able to have, every Tuesday, that was part of the program. And Mondays, we would have, obviously, therapy workouts, but then the ZoeFlow workout with Gary. And then they would get hit with Barb and nutrition. And I think it's all of you guys, all hands on deck works. Because I know from our experience, just if you were to say, we're here for falls, we're going to work on fall, and there was nothing else, it wouldn't work.
Right.
But it's like all the pieces coming together.
And everybody working together just makes it all that much better.
Well, and, hello, you're part of the program now.
Yeah, I can't
So Jason is
teach
part of
without
the
doing it.
employee ZoeLife programs, and he's heavily involved in the workout aspect of it. You've lost some weight. You're doing great with your workouts. Are you liking it?
It's been a challenge, but it's been wonderful. It really is. Steve's been working me out pretty heavily. I'd leave sweating, just dripping, but it's good. It's been a good experience.
We have fun. I tell, because we've got Randy, Jason, Dan, they all work out together.
Oh, nice.
So it's like just the same person all over. But they're just working. They're grinding. I'm like, this is so cool. And then the residents come in and it's like, Dino, what are you doing? What are you doing on the ground? And they're like, I'm just stretching, man. I'm trying to get better like you. And then the residents are like, how cool is it to see
everybody's in this together.
Trying to get better themselves.
That's
and they're
right.
Like, man, I think it's so cool you guys are doing this. So like some of the employee stuff that we're doing, you're doing the Bible studies. Correct. And you're doing the nutrition combo. Tell us and some of the viewers out there, like from a nutrition standpoint, what are some changes you're doing?
Me personally?
Yeah, you.
It's been a challenge and a learning experience, going to the Whole Foods and really watching what I eat. But it's been an eye-opener and good. It's something that I will learn and continue to use going forward.
Are you doing more plant-based?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was scared of it at first, thinking, oh, this is going to be terrible. But there's some really good stuff out there.
Oh, there's great stuff. Yeah.
And it's just little tricks too as you eat, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, some of the stuff about putting your fork or whatever down.
That's it. Put your fork down, chew 40 times, take these little tricks and stretch it out.
I love all the stuff you're doing, but your lunch break's 3 hours long now and you're chewing 40 times. Speed it up, man.
That's a challenge, yeah.
I mean, how much weight have you lost?
I think as of this morning is about 9 pounds now.
In about how long?
And what are we at? Just over a week?
Just over a week?
Yeah.
Wow,
So
that's awesome.
It's one of these that I can say he's not crash dieting. This is the lifestyle change for these guys.
Yeah.
Going plant-based and just a habitual, like you said, you might not chew 40 times, but being thoughtful of how you're eating, right? Like
thinking about things you never thought about before.
I think that learning curve for employees, for all of us, for our residents, that's the insightful nature of our education class.
Right.
Bart, come teach us. It's those little tips of the trade, like, okay, it's moderation, but if you're gonna do this, this is the way to do it right. And be thoughtful on all of these things. So,
and you feel good about it. You feel good. Yeah.
So one thing I would ask you in workout, we're doing a lot more stretching than you ever have. As a rehab guy and you going through the fire, how important it is from a fall prevention standpoint, that flexibility.
Oh, it's crucial. It really is. Just being able to be more flexible will help prevent falls and will help you to be more stable on your feet. And that's something that is good throughout everybody's life.
That's right. Yeah. You don't want to wait to the point of,
hey,
I just had 2 more falls. I need to start stretching.
Oh,
do it now beforehand.
That's right. Yeah. Absolutely. And we talk about our residents a lot, all of you, but this really is for all of us. I mean, everybody on this campus, off campus, whomever, this is the program that everybody should be utilizing.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I agree.
So before you came to Glencroft, how long you been here so everybody can kind of know what's our
I think I've only been here now since August.
Okay.
Yeah. So still fairly new.
But you've learned where everything is.
Absolutely. Love it. Yeah.
So coming onto this environment and just jumping head into Zoe Life, are you seeing this kind of approach? You've been at other hospitals or other. Are you seeing this kind of all holistic approach to falls? Because that's what this is all based on. Have you seen this kind of stuff?
No, not in this capacity. Not like what we're doing here. Yeah. Not at all. This is an amazing opportunity.
Jason, thank you so much for joining us today. See how easy this was?
Yeah, we got to go work out. It's going to work out right now.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so for today's fitness tip, we got Tom back with us, and he's going to show you guys some of the ways that we really start working on somebody's posture, their shoulder strength, their dynamic state of when they're standing tall, what we're really hoping to accomplish. And we do that via these simple tools of it, whether it's tubing or TheraBand, but working in a very elastic, functional manner. So the first one we do is called an upright row. So Brody, go ahead and grab each handle. Okay, now what you can see is Tom is doing this. We got a red band. We also have a maroon band, a green band, a red band, an orange band, all various levels. So no matter what your strength is, we can accommodate you, okay? the red band right here, go ahead and wind those feet just a little, Grody. Okay, good. All right, now what Tom's gonna do on upright row is he's gonna pull this into his chest and he's gonna hold it there. Then he's gonna release it and he's gonna breathe out. He's gonna do it again. Now when you pull this bar in, you are really pulling these shoulder blades back. What we try to get our residents to do is go slow, working on their breathing. Okay, so all the way out, blow that air out, bring it in. Yep, core is engaged. Good, Grody, keep going. Squeeze, blow it out. That's great, that's great. Now, this is a standing row. In the facility here, we do up to about 3 sets of 20. Some residents start at 3 sets of 8, 3 sets of 6, kind of depending on your strength level. But this right here for Tom, depending on what band color we use, 320s would be a lot of work. Now, to change one thing up, we also like to get Tom, go ahead and have a seat, Tom. Sitting on a physio ball. Okay, so sitting on this physio ball is gonna work a lot more of his core. He's gonna have to really focus on his balance and able to perform this task. Okay, so go ahead, same motion, pulling, blow that air out. So bring it in, blow that air out. His core is engaged, and what he's really trying to focus on is being tall. Okay, what we don't like to see is slouchy guy sitting on this ball kind of defeats the purpose. But when he's sitting on there, upright, there's a lot of action happening in this core. Okay, go ahead and relax. Great job, Grody. Okay, now the second one we'd love to go right into is, go ahead and stand up for me. I'll move this ball out of your way. Okay, back up a little bit, Grody. Okay, now, we love rotation. We love functional rotation, whether you're cooking and you gotta pick something off your counter and put it over here. The ability to turn and be supple in your spine alleviates a lot of injuries that could happen. So, we gotta practice it. The only way we're gonna get more range of motion on your turns is to practice it. So, having a tool like this resistance band in place that allows him to get some tension in his core and his shoulders as he turns is a big thing. Okay, go ahead, Grody, keep your eyes straight ahead, turn that chest. Good, and what you can see is he's really focused on looking straight ahead, and he is just turning, and his core is engaged. His hips will move a little bit, but as you're doing this in here, what you're really focused on is just turning that chest. I want a big, solid muscle doing your rotation, not just your arms, okay? So you can see Grody's just big turn, big turn. Now go ahead and relax, Tom. Okay, same idea, sit on this ball, okay? Now, he's gonna make this look easy. This is really hard. Sitting, posture, being super tall, okay? His head is straight. Go ahead and turn, Grody. Smooth, nice big turn. Good, then the other way. Supple, you can see how supple that is around his spine. His balance is good. Sometimes we'll put a little medicine ball in there so that there's none of the knees going in or out. But his ability to rotate is gonna make his lifestyle very easy. He has no problem picking something up, turning. He drops something, picks it up. There's not a balance issue. So we build into this with our residents, right? We start small, standing, even if they're holding their walker, and we progress to this. Great job, Grody, relax.
Well, we're really excited today because we have Diane Morrison with us as our resident profile. And we're gonna be talking a little bit with Diane about, she was in the first beta group. She helped start off this whole program with us, and some of the other things that she's interested in, you'll get to know a little bit more about her. So welcome, Diane.
Thank you,
Thank
Diane.
you very much.
Diane just got finished with workout right before this, right?
Yep.
I know.
Definitely.
Diane, it's been almost over a year since we started. Can you believe that?
It's been a great year there for me.
It's been a great year for all of us.
Absolutely.
And to watch where we've come with ZoeLife from, remember last year, right before January, you want to do this little program? Do you want to try it? Mm-hmm. She said, I still remember approaching her.
Right.
I guess we're going to do falls. We're going to work on balance. She goes, I'm in. I want to work on balance.
So do you feel like it's really improved your balance? Has it increased your stamina?
Oh, it's been light years. The year before I came and started the beta program, I had 3 bad falls, one of which knocked out a tooth. All 3 falls here at Winthrop, I had to go to the ER and be treated by somebody. When I started the beta program in January, I had 0 falls in 2019.
Oh my goodness.
That's a great stat.
That's a
and you
great
said even before the
testimony.
3, the year prior to that, you had falls as well, right?
Right, not as bad as I had in 2018. That was just, light years.
Yeah, so falls, really bad falls, and then in 19, 0 falls.
And I would like to keep that habit going.
Yes, absolutely.
That's why I'm continuing, And so I'm glad that I had an opportunity to participate in the initial grouping there, And you build up your stamina. You start with so many things, and then gradually you increase, and that's a good thing.
That's right.
And so I'd like to maintain this 0 falls the rest of my life.
That's all of us.
Oh,
that's
of
all
course.
Of us. So one of the big things that I know really helped Diane with her falls is because, like everybody, when they come in, we take you through the assessment and we try to figure out, okay, her strengths are here, but some of her issues are here, and we've got some imbalances in the body here. And the big culprit, I think, for her falls were her ankles were so weak that if she would go to stumble, she couldn't catch herself. So she would fall because that first initial step was a little off. As most people can at least catch themselves somewhat. Her ankles would just go, and down she would go. And so we spent that first 6-8 weeks just really working hard on her strength, but getting those ankles right. And so she was actually one of our fitness tips of the month. Is we were showing her on the trampoline doing some ankle work. But I think that really paid dividends.
And don't you feel like that's kind of a testimony to how we can customize this program for every resident? Because every resident has different issues, and so to be able to take that and find out where the weaknesses are and then really work on that, look what it's done for you.
Oh, it has for me. And one of the things I was talking to Steve about is that exercise where you go up on your toes and then you go back. He said, well, you could do it at home, So I try to reach into my microwave. Hey, I could use the exercise and reach and get things in and out like a piece of cake. It was so easy. Now,
that's great.
Since I've had the opportunity to exercise and do that.
How often a week do you exercise still?
At least twice a week.
Oh, that's great.
And she's maintained it. I mean, we'll have some moments where she's not able to get down there for the week or two, and then I'll see her walk by and she goes, I know, I'm getting back in, and she'll come down. But that's the reality of living here too.
Of course.
We all get busy. It's not like anywhere else in a sense of we all do things all day long, and sometimes that workout fades. But I think, and I'm putting words in your mouth, but when you do come back, it's like, I miss this. My body craves this.
My body wants to be down here, definitely. And so does my mind. We'll bring it along.
That's true.
But that's a big piece of it, right? The mental side.
Oh, yes.
So you've taken a part in a lot of the lectures that we've offered.
I've done a number of the lectures, and that was interesting.
You like that?
Yep.
Have you had any of the Zoe foods that are offered?
Oh, yes. In fact, last night I had one of the cauliflower pizza, which is my favorite.
It's my favorite.
So I shared that with somebody else because I can't eat that much of it.
Right.
So I ate half, and my friend ate the other half. And so I said, hey, that's perfect for me.
It is.
That's great.
And do you know that pizza only has 600 calories, so when you share it, you're only getting 300 calories.
I like that idea.
Me too.
Well, I think you have very good perspective, as a lot of our resident profiles do, on how we are trying to combat aging when it comes to falls. But I think having a year under your belt, Millie always asks this question, so I'm probably stepping on your toes, but how do you feel today in January as opposed to before we started the previous January? How does your body, your mind, tell us how you feel?
I would say light years better. I feel stronger, and I notice when I go in now, and there's one exercise in the cage that we have that you put your foot down, you balance. My balance is so much stronger.
Oh, I love that.
And that's a good thing.
Yes.
It's so much easier for me to do that. And before, when I first started, I was wobbling all over the place.
Yes.
And I don't do that now.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So that's, a year's worth of exercise that's been really valuable for me, because the goal is to maximize whatever time you have left.
That's right.
Until the Lord calls your name,
Yeah.
Please don't call me today, Lord.
That's all of us.
I talk to him a lot.
Yes.
Because he's always listening, so you never can tell.
That's exactly right.
So now tell us, how long you been at Glencroft?
It'll be 3 years in March.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful.
And it was interesting because when my brother and I first started looking around for places to go, we went over to different places in Peoria. And then a friend of mine who was going to the same church I was at the time, she says, well, have you ever considered a faith-based facility for seniors? I said, well, yes, but I haven't been to one. She says, well, I know there's one. Let's go over to Glencroft. And we came over here, and it was and the next day I came over and signed the lease.
That is wonderful. And are you part of Community of Faith?
Definitely.
You stay on campus?
I like to stay. I go on faith for that.
Okay.
If you don't feel good sometime, or you
Right.
have a bad cold or something, and you don't want to share your germs, you can watch the service
it on TV. Yeah.
You know, and I like that aspect of it. That's kind of nice.
Absolutely.
So
know.
on the education piece with Glencroft University, did you attend a lot of stands or Pastor Joel's this last go around? Did you go to some of their lectures?
I've gone to some of his lectures,
Okay.
because I really enjoy the way the different pastors preach. They have a very different way of doing things.
do.
Pastor Joel is the main one, but sometimes we have Pastor Bob do it, and then lately we have a new chaplain on campus, Stan, over at Providence Place, and his technique is so different than theirs. It's just fun to have a variety of ways
It
to
is.
Diversity and all
Such a
that.
broad
Definitely.
spectrum. Yeah.
Well, you never know who they're going to be able to reach. You have to have
Yes.
different personalities. But
That's
the
right.
bottom line is they're all tied to God. And the nice thing I like about the church here is that if you believe in Jesus and you accept Him, you're welcome at the communion table. And there are some places that the particular church, if you're not a member, you can't participate.
Right. Yes.
But everybody is, I don't care if you've never been here. If you're a relative or a friend and you're visiting that day and we're having communion, if you believe in Jesus,
Absolutely.
you can take.
That's very cool.
It is.
You know.
Absolutely.
So somebody that's watching, if you were to give them some encouragement to maybe come down to the Performance Center, try a workout, try a education lecture, to get your feet wet with ZoeLife, what would some words be you would give somebody watching right now?
Well, I would encourage them to come down and see you so you could do an assessment to determine about where your strengths and weaknesses are. Because one of the things I noticed that different people, while we might do some exercises that are the same, there are other exercises that are very different because they have different strengths than I do. And the goal is to build up your body, because if your body's feeling better, then your mind might hopefully go along with it.
Yes.
You know?
And you're feeling better. Definitely.
And then you can do more.
Yeah.
You know, the goal is to maximize the time you have left. You don't want to just sit in your apartment and vegetate.
That's right.
You know, that's not a good thing.
That's very good.
Diane, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been great getting to know you better and listening to your experiences in the beta program.
Great show.
It was so good. I loved hearing from Diane today.
Diane, I mean, Beta 1, as always,
Yep.
is a special place in my heart.
Right.
Because they were the framers. I call them the founding fathers and
That's
mothers.
right,
But it's true.
yeah.
I mean, they went out on a limb, and Diane came to us a year ago
Right.
and said, I'm tired of falling. I am literally tired of falling, and I'm going to have a fall that ends my life.
Yes.
There's no way around it.
Well, she'd already had so many falls. And the other thing, too, is our beta ones, you know, they didn't know what this was going to look like. It was all new. The beta testing that was there on, they knew what it was going to look like.
And I remember Diane specifically as we had our first meeting, because we tried to meet with each beta tester prior. So what are your goals? What are you trying to do? And she said, it's what she said right there. I want to thrive.
Right.
I want to be in the moment for who I am right now.
Yeah.
Until God calls me off of the earth.
Exactly. I
want to
wanna-
give you everything I got.
I wanna have
and
a
I'm
quality
tired
life.
Of
Yes,
falling. And
yes.
I think having that bad fall and losing a few teeth
Right.
and everything she had stressed on, it was like enough's enough. And I'm going to use all that you've created to better myself.
Yes.
And she came down steadfast, and every time she came in, it was an hour on balance.
Yeah.
And to not have any falls in 19.
Oh, I mean, that says it all right there, really.
So having her and then having the rehab guys, I mean, to be able to talk through what we're doing in Providence Place, how their perspective of physical therapy and rehab-oriented fall prevention
And
is
how it's
bleeding over
affecting
here.
them, yes.
And that whether you're in skilled nursing, long-term care, memory care, AL, IL, getting your head around a team approach to
right.
falls, whether it's food,
Yes.
spiritual, emotional, learning, all
Yeah.
of those things that we put together that was based on fall prevention. That was the whole thing.
And then
we
to see
did.
the outcome, that's the blessing in all of this, to be able to see the outcome for the residents that have
Yeah,
participated.
that's right. Go from falls, multiple falls,
Yes.
zero falls.
Yeah.
That's what ZoeLife's
Right,
all about.
it is.
So it's been a great show. Next week we have another good show.
We do, so please join us next week for ZoeTV.